let's talk about this. President-elect Trump, well, has spent the past 2 years making promises to voters on the campaign trail. And joining us now to take a closer look at some of those plans is Dr. Niambi Carter. She is an author and associate professor in the School of Public Policy at the University of Maryland. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Thank you for coming in and talking with us. We want to start with this because we know one of the first things that we're going to go forward to, one of the first things he said he was going to do was to sign all these executive orders. I believe somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 executive orders on the first day. First of all, what does that actually mean? How does that work? Because we've spoken about this, about the logistics of these executive orders.
Well, thank you for that question. So executive orders are a way for presidents to sort of do an end run around Congress who's in charge of making legislation. So we've seen them used quite a bit by every administration really since George Washington. So they're not unusual. I think what is unusual about this moment is the range of things that Donald Trump said he's going to do with this first raft of executive orders on today.
Right. I mean, it is a stack of actions.
A lot of his rallies, I attended some other events. And
I want to take a break here. It looks like we have some live cover or live video here or live picture of President-elect Donald Trump leaving St. Episcopal Church. Of course, the morning prayer service just wrapping up. And from here, he will move on to the procession going to the rotunda. But the stack of actions designed to set the tone for the next 4 years, I mean, like you said, there's a variety of topics. The main headline I think a lot of folks are talking about is the action with immigration. You know, getting, in his words here, carrying out mass deportations of undocumented immigrants very quickly. What does that process even look like?
Well, we don't know. They've been actually quite tight-lipped on how they're going to achieve this, because what they're talking about is essentially rounding up somewhere in the estimated range of about 11 million people. How that's going to happen, how much it's going to cost. He's essentially said there is no limit on the budget or the personnel that he's willing to pledge to this, but we don't know what law enforcement agencies might be involved. We don't even know what, say, local law enforcement's involvement in this will be, because, as you know, we're in a place in a region of the country that is a protected place for undocumented people. We are sanctuary cities, like DC, and then there are counties in Maryland that are sanctuary counties. So what does that even look like? Because we're talking about essentially encroaching on these sovereign places and superseding local law enforcement. So we don't know.
He's also talked about women's rights, transgender rights. What do you think about that? What's the big takeaway here as far as people in those different communities? What should they be looking out for?
Well, I mean, I think people have to buckle up. I mean, he said in particular about transgender rights that he is going to stop gender affirming care, particularly for minors. He wants to ban transgender athletes from competing with their gender identity. So we don't know actually what this is going to look like, but we also know that if he goes after Title IX, which Joe Biden wanted to expand to include transgender people, which was about gender inclusivity, whether these people will be able to have sports careers in college and other places, whether gender affirming bathrooms in, say, public schools will be permitted.
If you'll allow just a quick follow-up here, how different, you spoke about the former administration or the outgoing wanting to even expand things like Title IX. How different are these two administrations that we're seeing?
Well, I think they have a very different vision of what they want this country to look like and what is expected, I guess, of Americans. I think Donald Trump wants to see a sort of retrenchment, a return to sort of traditional values, if we will. And I think Joe Biden was trying to suggest a more expansive vision of the country, which included racial and ethnic minorities, that included transgender people, that included persons with disabilities. And I think Donald Trump is saying, let's walk away from that this is not where Americans want to be. This is not the direction we want to see our country go in, that we need to return to who we were. I mean, that Make America Great Again slogan is not just a slogan. I think it's a real vision of what they want this country to look like.
I know another one of the things that he was talking about, and a lot of the Republican Party has been talking about, is DEI. I mean, it's even seeped into, the fires in California are because of DEI. Where do you think things will go in regards to DEI once he does get in office and starts moving on that particular front?
Well, he's made it very clear he wants none of that in the federal workforce. I mean, Joe Biden put that out there as a priority for federal agencies, for hiring, for retention. I think when you talk about K through 12 education, for example, again, we'll stop seeing the inclusion of things like transgender children and things like that for higher education. It also has implications for institutions that have DEI offices. I think you will see people start to either walk away from those offices, renaming those offices sort of preemptively just to get around these federal regulations. So Donald Trump has made it very clear that he does not really see any value in diversity, equity, inclusion. He views that as not meritorious. I don't think that there's any evidence that DEI and merit don't go together, but they've seemed to sort of tether those things as antithetical to one another, which is why I think it's very popular and very easy for people to get riled up around DEI initiatives, because it looks like, unworthy people are getting opportunities or getting these high-level positions that they're not prepared for. And what DEI is actually trying to do is make sure those people who would normally be overlooked but are very well prepared for these positions actually get some attention.
You're going to hang out with us.
I am going to hang out with you all.
Okay, well, we got lots more questions for you coming up.